Hey, everybody. It is Workforce Wednesday. Thank you again for joining. Super excited. We have had a wonderful month so far, last month, and coming into this month, we've had some really phenomenal speakers who have just really came in and blessed us with so much great information about starting new careers as a network strategist. We've had Christina Hill from Amada Senior Health with careers in healthcare, working directly with our seniors. And today we have the most amazing Kevin Martin of Pacific States Petroleum. Mr. Martin, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are so glad to have you. You are such a gem. And you're everywhere I go when it comes to like job fairs and community events. And so you're always out, and I appreciate that. You're always saying yes to opportunities to present and get the word out about um, careers over at Pacific States Petroleum, as well as just career development. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So I'm
Thank
going
you.
to just read your bio quickly. You're welcome. So, Mr. Martin is the recruitment manager for Pacific States Petroleum Incorporated. He was hired in May of 2003 as a fuel delivery driver. He became a dispatcher in 2006 and worked in that position until 2022. He later became the business recruitment manager, training and safety manager in 2002, and he has been a part of the growth and development of Pacific States Petroleum Incorporated for over 20 years. He currently serves in his role as a recruitment manager, out here changing lives, dropping gems everywhere he goes, and making sure that people can earn a livable wage, more than a livable wage, and have a really great career. So, Kevin, snaps in for you. Thank you so much for joining this evening, and the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you again, Anissa. I appreciate the opportunity. I always look forward to sharing knowledge and giving, just sharing with the community about what is possible. Um, like Anissa, she gave you a brief description of my bio. And I'll kind of start out when I took this job with Pacific States Petroleum. I was making a change in my life. It was a transitional time. 2002, 2003 allowed me to make some moves that I didn't actually think were going to turn out to be a career. When I took this job, I just figured I'd have it for a little bit of time and wasn't planning on making it a career, but I kept coming to work every day, working with this company. The owner and founder at the time really gave me an opportunity to stretch my limits, to learn, to grow, and trust me. And like I said, it'll be 23, actually, yeah, 23 years come May that I've been with Pacific States Petroleum. When I started with them, we had 3 trucks, and there was 5 people, including the owner and our office staff, office person. And then there was 3 drivers. And one of the drivers, he's no longer with us today, but he was such a big influence and helped keep me motivated and looking to the future. And like I said, achieving some goals that I didn't know I had at the time. But life is funny in that as you progress and you go along, things change in life, and it's not so much about what happens to you, but about how you deal with it. So what happened with me? Like Anissa said, I was a driver, went into dispatch, and now I'm recruiting. Um, we are a fuel delivery company, so we deliver mostly diesel fuel. We also deliver propane and some gasoline, and we also deliver some petroleum products, greases, oils, and things like that. We have 9 locations now: Concord, San Jose, Stockton, and Sacramento here in Northern California. Central California, we're in Fresno. Southern California, we're in San Bernardino. Um, Norwalk, which is the LA area. San Marcos, which is San Diego. And we also have a new location in Fernley, Nevada, which is actually Reno, 35 miles east of Reno. So we're a growing company. Like I said, when I started then, there was 5 of us. We're currently approaching 300 employees. We're a employee owned, 100% employee owned and operated company. So it's been really good with our company to watch people come in, say with, as a driver and progress to operations manager, sales. We've had people come in the office and start as administrative assistant and end up in a managing role. So all that is possible with our company. Like I said, we're a fuel delivery company, but our real business is customer service. Okay, so I always tell people we're a customer service company who happens to deliver fuel. Okay, that's where we're at. Customers come first. It's important that we get the right fuel to the right customer into the right piece of equipment on time. Okay, with safely and without spilling fuel. So it's very important for us to operate in a very professional manner, which we've managed to do, like I said, for close to 25 years now. So that's just basics of what we do. The majority of, of course, the drivers who deliver the fuel are the backbone for our company. They get out every day on a route. They may have 10, 12 stops, and they're filling individual pieces of equipment. We don't do gas station work. What we do is called on-site fuel delivery or wet hosing. And so we fill individual pieces of equipment. So construction equipment, if you got bulldozers, forklifts, things like that, will come out, fill those cranes, light towers, generators. So we do portable power also, where we're filling generators, reefer trailers, compressors, and things like that. A lot of times, emergency generators for different buildings will come out and make sure that those are topped off from time to time. And we also do fueling for different fleets. So we fill up fleets of trucks. We've also filled up trains. The only thing that we don't fuel, of course, is airplanes because they take airline fuel or air fuel. And we don't do ships. We don't do fueling over the water. But anything else, we fuel. We're a 24/7, 365 days a year. And a lot of fuel companies won't deliver on holidays, weekends, and at night. But we have trucks on the road all that time. And like I said, whatever the customer's needs are, we come out and we take care of them. So that's just a brief description about the company. First thing I'm going to say is that if you want more information about Pacific States Petroleum, just put in pacstatespetro.com. Again, that's pacstatespetro.com. Takes you right to our website, gives you information about who we are, what we do, and you can get a brief introduction. You can also touch bases with Anissa. She has information on how to contact me if you ever have any questions. I talked about the drivers. And of course, the drivers are the backbone of the company. They're the ones that make it happen. So what we do is we have actually two levels of drivers. Our main source, of course, is commercial drivers, Class A or Class B drivers with a hazardous material endorsement on their driver's license and tank endorsement, as well as, air brakes and things like that. So a lot of our drivers, of course, they can also drive combination vehicles too. But again, CDL, commercial driver's license, hazardous materials endorsement, tank endorsement with air brakes. Okay. That is the majority of our drivers because we're driving around with 4,500 gallons of diesel fuel and we're delivering fuel like California. We also do propane. So the propane trucks, I think, are 3,000 gallons, the majority of them. And the same thing, hazardous materials, tank endorsed, air brakes. Okay. And we deliver propane to propane tanks and propane cylinders. So that's the majority of our business. I want to talk about or let you know that we've had a pretty good impact on Northern California. So just to kind of give you a heads up, a lot of the bridges that have gone up or had work done on them, skyscrapers, construction sites, housing developments, there's been a vast range of development that we've helped Northern California with. All the stadiums the newer stadiums, Pac-Bell Park in San Francisco, the 49ers Stadium down in Santa Clara. As a matter of fact, we're doing fueling for the Super Bowl. They have generators that they're going to need to keep going for different purposes. We'll be filling those. Uh, Down in Los Angeles, we've done the same thing with the building of, I think, three stadiums down there, and I think Staples and one that the Clippers play in now, and also the new stadium that the Rams and the Chargers play in. So we've done that type of fueling also. I used to brag about I helped build my own house because we did fueling for the construction companies that were building homes. A lot of the home developments that have gone up over the last 20, 25 years, we've had some hand in fueling a lot of the construction that has gone on with those. The fires that, took place. We've been lucky over the last several years, except for what happened in Los Angeles last year, where we've had drivers deliver fuel for different purposes to help supply relief, to help suppress the fires, and to help these communities grow. A lot of the communities went down when their power sources went down when the fires happened, and they were placing generators out there on the site. Some of these towns, they use those generators to keep the cities going, like, for instance, up in Quincy and in Paradise. And we supplied fuel to keep those generators going so that those towns, were still livable and could still operate. So that's just a little bit of what we do. Like I said, emergency purposes also. So just a little bit of information. So our drivers, and we take drivers straight out of truck driving school. So just a little background on a CDL, commercial driver's license. Now, as of 2022, I believe it was February 7th, I believe, you have to go to truck driving school to get a commercial driver's license. In the past, if I had a truck and Anissa wanted to get a license, I would take her out in my truck. We'd drive around. She'd study the test and go to the DMV and take the test. Now it's not that simple. The DOT and the federal motor carriers want you to have formal training at a truck driving school and a certified truck driving school. Okay. And you have to pass their course and you have to take the test at the Department of Motor Vehicles, the driving test and the written test, to make sure that you qualify to hold a commercial driver's license. So that is the background of what you have to do to become a commercial driver, have a CDL, they call it. There's also different safety training and further training that you go through when you come on board with us, so that we can teach you how to deliver fuel in a safe and responsible manner. Like I said, one of the things that I always talk about is being responsible when you're delivering fuel. You don't want to put fuel on the ground. You don't want to put fuel in the water system. You don't want to contaminate any earth. You don't want to. And, first thing, of course, when people think about fuel is explosion and fire. But there are other hazards that can come along with fuel, especially spills. So you want to keep all of that to a minimum. One of the things I always talk about that changed with me was, in the past, and I'm sure a lot of us still do this, when we go to the gas station, we put the nozzle in our car. And if it's a cold day or a rainy day, we get back in the car and wait for the automatic shutoff to turn the nozzle off. Well, I don't know if you've ever had the experience where it didn't shut off, but it does happen from time to time. I don't know if you've gone to a gas station and you could smell fuel that's been spilled on the ground and there's grease sweep all over. That was a nozzle that didn't shut off. And when that happens, especially on a job site, it can be a disaster. I tell you, a gallon of fuel on the ground looks like 10 gallons of fuel on the ground, and the customer's not happy. So safety and responsibility, the same goes along when you're operating that vehicle. You got 4,500 gallons of fuel in the tank behind you, and you're operating that vehicle, and you're on one of our major highways, Highway 4. And I know a lot of you have probably seen, I call it the Fast and the Furious, where people are ducking in and out of lanes, doing 90 miles an hour. Imagine you're in a fuel truck and somebody stops in front of you, or there's an incident, and now you have to control that vehicle to stop or maneuver out of the way. Fuel trucks and trucks in general, big rigs, and so on and so forth, don't maneuver like BMWs. They don't accelerate like Corvettes, and they don't, and they don't stop like Porsches. It's it's a whole different animal when you're behind the wheel of a commercial vehicle. So please operate any vehicle that you're in a safe, responsible manner. Get home safe to your family. We actually have a propane driver's position open right now at our Concord location. Um, I've got driver's positions open in San Jose and in Fernley, Nevada currently. I was talking about the commercial license. We also have Class C drivers, and they drive smaller vehicles that don't require a commercial driver's license. And from time to time, those positions open up also. With the Class C position, you don't need a CDL. You don't have to go to truck driving school. It's basically a pickup with a tank on the back of the truck that's less than 119 gallons. You may have several on the truck, but none of those tanks have over 119 gallons in them. Once they go over 119 gallons, you have to have a placard, uh, and it's considered hazardous material. But those positions open up from time to time where you don't have to have a hazmat, you don't have to have a CDL, and you can operate those vehicles. So those positions do open up from time to time. I currently have also a dispatcher's position for our propane division open in Concord, and I will have a fuel dispatcher position open in Concord also. Um, and like I said, you can go to our website, you can view the jobs that are available in what location, and you can actually read the job description, get information about the current rate of pay, all the benefits that are attached with that, and you can also apply right online. You can apply right on your phone, actually. So if you went to our website right now, pacstatespetro.com, opened it up, clicked on the right links, you can actually get to where you see what positions are open in what locations. What else can I tell you about it? Oh, God, I could go on and on about just the experience I've had working with Pacific States Petroleum and, and delivering fuel. And like I said, customer service, and making sure that people have the fuel that they need to keep their project or their business going. A lot of times I'm available to answer questions on these types of things. I know today, not so much because we're doing this thing by Zoom, but just wanted to give you a brief description of who we are and what we do. I do job fairs. I also do workshops on interviewing. A lot of us are nervous about interviewing for a position. One of the things I always one of the things I start off with that interview workshop is doing research on the company that you're applying with, and also doing research on the job that you're applying for. Things have changed in the work world. When I was starting out a while ago, I can hand someone my resume, and they can look at my resume and see all the things that I've done, and they can determine if I fit the position they're hiring for. Nowadays, people want things a little more specific. They want to actually see that you've operated in that capacity. So a lot of times when I see people giving their resume, I want to make sure that they tailor that resume, or that at least the things that we're looking for in a candidate, the job description, those things stand out, because you want to, try as best you can to give information about yourself where you're talking about how you would fit in that position. The other thing I'd always talk about in interviewing is and I know interviewing it can be nerve-wracking, but showing up responsible, okay, on time. I had a gentleman who went the length of getting his CDL and getting everything together, and he showed up late for the interview. And that is an indication that the possibility exists they may show up late for the job. So we didn't even interview him. Showing up and presenting yourself in a professional manner as best you can, dressing correctly, without headphones and telephones and I'm telling you these things because people have shown up this way. They've brought their friends, they've brought their family, we even had one person bring their dog to the interview. And it's kind of, no, you can't do that. You want to show up and, like I said, show up in a responsible manner. So I do an interview workshop, and I talk about all these things and answer questions and have a participation. And I also show up and do, job talks about Pacific States Petroleum. I could go on for an hour or so, but I'm going to probably leave it there at that, unless there's some questions from audience or Anissa has anything else that she wants me to cover. Again, you can find us online at pacstatespetro.com. Pacific States Petroleum is the name of our company. Yeah. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact Anissa, and she has the links on how to get in touch with me, and I can answer any questions you have. Anissa, are you there?
Hear me?
Okay. Is there
Hello?
anything?
Can you
Yes,
hear me?
yes, I can. Are
Oh,
there
okay.
any
I'm like,
questions
wait,
from
is
it?
something up with my sound? I had a question about wages. I think that's always something that comes up. Um, Wages, would you say that Pacific, well, just in general, that this particular career path pays, a level or at least a wage where folks can start out and take care of themselves and then earn more as they get more skills?
Yes. Um, People a lot of times, well, just give you kind of a general guideline where we are. We start at 28 an hour. We have medical, dental, vision, 401k. We put in 3%, whether you put anything in there or not. We're 100% employee owned. So what that means is after a year with the company, you start earning stock in the company. And after 5 years, that stock is yours.
Nice.
And it's free. You don't pay for that. It's something that's given to you as we call them owners. And we're always looking for new owners when we hire people. So we're looking for people that are going to represent the company as if it's their own. We have paid time off. And it's funny. When I started, like I said, I was 2003 when I walked into the office. Matter of fact, I happened to walk into, I believe, Concord Works or something like that at the time. And I walked in. Of course, in those days, the job wasn't on computer. It was on a board or in the paper, and didn't have much information about the company. Just said CDL driver needed. And I went and I applied. I went into the interview. I had an idea at that time that I wanted to take nothing less than $15 an hour. The owner and founder offered me 13. I wanted to work, so I took it. And people ask me a lot of times, well, what kept me coming back to work for these 23 years? And it's the level of professionalism that we have. It's kind of like a family atmosphere. The company has helped me improve on my weaknesses, has allowed me to exercise and my strengths. There's an open door policy that management has that no matter who you are, you're always welcome to voice your opinion, to give ideas to help the company grow. That type of atmosphere is fostered. It's encouraged. And I was telling somebody about one of the customers that we had that I didn't think was going to be around a long time, and they've been a customer of ours now for the past 24 or about 23 years. I remember making the first delivery to that customer and not knowing if they were going to be around. And when I moved into this position, um, 10 of the foremen from that company still have my phone number. And what I'm saying is that I had a level of trust that I had built with these people. So they continued to contact me and to call me because they knew that we were going to provide them with customer service, that we were going to get them the fuel they needed in a timely fashion. Like I said, our drivers start at 28 an hour. I don't know what our top driver is making now. So I don't know. There's no ceiling as far as I know about what wages you can earn. But I bought two houses, and where that wasn't my goal at the time when I took this job, and it wasn't my goal to be here 23 years later. But here I am, and this job has kept me coming back to work every day. So, I hope that answers a little bit about your question.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Um, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate you sharing not only just really good um, and job retention and how to get the job, how to land the job, how to keep the job, just all those really key facts that we all need when finding employment. And I appreciate you coming on sharing not only the CDL required positions, but also the non-CDL and just your Class C driver's license. And as he said, there's a dispatcher position soon to open. And there's also the fuel delivery driver. I think that one is CDL. And I will drop those in an email. And I will drop the link for Pac State Petroleum as well. But Kevin, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate you taking the time to share and just to inform us, right? I think that's half the battle. It's just information, right? Just knowing that these opportunities are available to us. And so thank you so much just for your time this evening and your wealth of knowledge. So snaps to you. And if no one has any questions or comments, I will see you all next Wednesday. And you all can have a great night.
Thank you again for allowing me to share. Is there someone